Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, First Son. The time is 2:07, so I think maybe we can start. So I'll just hand over to Noreen just to introduce herself, her role at First Son, and then today's topic, and then we can start from there. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noreen Manama. Yes, I am from First Son. I'm the one who is leading the short-term department. We are going to know more about short-term as we go into the slides. I want to thank you all for participating and for attending this one. I am a holder of a bachelor's degree in risk management and insurance, and I'm an associate with ISA, the Insurance Institute of South Africa, as well as the Insurance Institute of Zimbabwe. And I'm also a holder of an advanced diploma with the Chartered Insurance Institute of UK. I believe that's my background, and I think we can start. Where there are questions, I'm not sure how you've been doing it before, but please feel free to interrupt, and then we share before we even forget. So this presentation, according to the advert or the invitation, it was mainly talking to workers' compensation and public liability. But upon further inquiry with my MD, we decided to bring it closer to home before going to the workers. So we decided to include personal insurance as well, which we are going to start with before we go to workers' compensation. I'm not sure, are you hearing me well? Maybe we can just show on the chat if we're all fine.
Very clearly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we can go on. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the classification, the broad classifications of insurance, show some examples, then ponder into the personal insurance, then later the business insurance, where it talks about the workers' compensation and the public liability. So let's just start on it. Classification of insurance. These are the broad classifications of insurance. It's long-term and short-term. I believe all the other presentations that have been before, they were linked to long-term. I think this is the first time we are coming in as short-term. So, but what is insurance in general, and how do we get to that long-term or short-term? Insurance is a legal agreement where the insurance company promises to pay out a sum of money to the insured person upon the happening of an insured event in exchange of a premium. So there are two parties involved, the insured, which is Dr. X, and the insurance company. Dr. X pays a premium, and the insurance company promises to pay out a certain amount of money in case of something happening, which is insured. So in case of a motor accident, then the insurance company will pay, but Dr. X has to pay the premium first. So we can broadly classify into short-term and long-term. The long-term part of it refers to the financial protection against risks that are certain to happen, like death. But the only uncertainty involved there is when, the timing. We all know that we're gonna die one day, but we don't know when. So long-term, we call it long-term because you are covered for a very long period of time. It's rare for someone to take cover today and die in the next 6 months. It's very rare, but those things, they do happen. So they are long-term in nature because they are taken for a very long time, a long period of time. Then short-term is the financial protection against loss or damage to tangible property, as well as some liabilities that come with ownership of property. So we're saying you own a house, you own a car, those things can be damaged. or they can cause liabilities or debt to emanate from their use. Your car can hit someone else's property, your house, your dogs, because you own a house, they can bite another person, or your house can actually fall on someone. So those are the things that come up with short term. So we are insuring your tangible property and any liabilities that come with ownership of that property. So they are short term in nature, in that they are renewed every year. Every year, your car insurance renews. Every year, your house insurance renews. Any questions thus far? Okay, I assume there's none. Okay, what are the examples of short-term insurance? The short-term can be broken down.
Noreen,
Okay, yes, sir.
I think they were saying that one, maybe you can actually because there's issues of internet plus on the camera, we can't really appreciate you very much. Maybe we can turn off the video for now. And then
Okay.
number two was to put the slides on slideshow.
All right, all right.
Thing.
I don't know as of now. I think maybe it was too much light from the window. How is it now? Can you see me?
Right now it's yes, we can see you perfectly. But I was just saying that maybe for those who struggle with internet, I would
Okay,
just suggest
okay,
things
okay.
maybe during the question and answer we can put the video, but
Then put
for
the
now, I mean,
video on.
just to
All
help
right.
them, yeah. And then for the slides, we can just put slideshow. Thank you.
Okay, let me just do this slide. Okay, are we fine now?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. So should I go back or we continue?
Let us continue.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I was talking about the examples. So on the examples of on short term, we have commercial or business insurance and then personal. Commercial, we are mainly looking at the covers that will cover your business, including your assets, your workers, your liabilities. Then personal, we are looking at your house contents cover, your domestic buildings, your houses, your personal or risk. We are talking about your portable gadgets that you can move around with, your cell phones, your laptops. Then there are personal vehicles and many others. On business insurance, that's where workers' compensation come in, public liability, motor insurance, company vehicles, your fire and allied perils for your machinery, your commercial buildings, your stock, your business or risk for your portable business gadgets, your laptops, your projectors, your your cell phones, company cell phones, electronic equipment. You are referring to your desktops, your printers, those machinery that is used in the office. Then other things, theft or burglary, or goods in transit. We are going to discuss this further. I think this is the beginning of talking about short term. We will touch on a few products at a time. So we will come up another time and talk about many others. Then examples of long term, we are talking about your life covers, including keyman insurance, credit life, mortgage covers, your funeral covers, your retirement planning, your investments planning, your wills, estate planning. They are all under long term. Then now we venture into the personal insurance. Like we said, we want to bring it closer to you before we go to the worker. So your personal insurance will include all that. That is what we are going to consider today. Your personal accident, your house contents, your house owners, your personal or risk, your motor, personal liability, and domestic workers. Then to start with, we want to look at doctor himself. There are so many risks that he faces himself that can cause injury or disability or even accidental death. So what are we referring to as personal accident? Is a cover that can be taken out by anyone, including all the doctors, which pays out if you suffer a serious injury, you lose an arm, you lose a leg, you lose your eyesight, or you die as a result of an accident, or you become totally or permanently disabled due to an accident. And what do we mean by an accident? We know that we mostly think about road accidents, but it is any unfortunate incident that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally. So, and it can result in damage or injury. And it includes being struck by lightning, drowning, animal attack, road accidents, and many more. As long as it's unexpected and it is not intentional, that qualifies to be an accident. And any injury to the doctor or any permanent disability or death arising thereof, that cover for personal accident will cover you for that. So for us to cover you for personal accident, you just provide the amount that you want. You say, I want to be covered for $1 million. I want to be covered for 500,000. Then we quote. So it is vital and it is important. Someone might say, no, I have a life cover, but a life cover only pay on death. So it's somehow different. Or it can pay on capital disability. That is, you are injured to an extent that you can no longer do your work. But what if you can still continue doing your work, but you lost an arm, or you lost a leg, or you lost one eye? So that's where a personal accident can come in. So we have talked about the doctor himself, how he can cover himself, his body. But what about the things that you own in the house? Your fridge, your TVs. A child can just go around and hit the TV with a knife or with a stone, and that TV is broken, it's gone. Or lightning, nowadays it's raining. So house contents cover will cover you for loss or damage to insured property, being household contents, personal effects, fixtures and fittings that are not normally sold with the residents. And they should be belonging to the insured or should be in the custody of the insured. That is, he should be legally responsible for those goods. And they should be a certain address that we are saying the property is at this address where the Dr. X stays. So we're saying you can lose your fridge, it can be struck by lightning or by passage, you can lose your TV, you can lose your clothes, that's personal effects, or some fixtures and fittings that are yours, but even if you are renting that house. So that can be covered under household contents. What are the main risks there or perils that we're covering? We're looking at fire. Yes, the house can be gutted down by fire, including your contents, can be struck by lightning, explosion damage, storm damage, wind, water, hail, snow, subsidence or landslip, earthquake, bursting pipes, theft or attempted theft. This on theft or attempted theft there, we should note that it should be followed by a possible entrance or exit. We cannot really insure or cover a loss where the door was left open and someone just came in and took goods and went away. There should be a sign that the thieves broke in using this by breaking the door or by breaking the window, something like that, to gain an entrance into the house. And also the house should not be vacant for more than 30 days. We are all away. Why is like that? Because where thieves they see, they monitor, they see that no, there's no one. So the risks increase if there's no one. So then the other perils are impacted by trees. A tree fall on the house and the house caves in, damages also your TV or other contents that can also be covered. Or even an aeroplane, aerial devices can fall on the house and then the contents are damaged as well. Any malicious damage, intentional damage by outsiders, they can just throw a stone there and it goes straight and hit your TV. That's malicious damage. So for us to quote for house contents cover, we just need to complete what we call an inventory form. This is a form that helps you to quantify the value of your assets. We're saying your bedroom has wardrobes, it has bedrooms, bed set, it has this and that. So you have to quantify it on that inventory form at replacement cost. We are saying there's no way you can say my fridge is now 3 years old. So if I bought it at 5,000 nowadays, so which means the value is now 2,000. There's no depreciation on a house contents cover, because there's no way we can be paid to go and buy a second-hand thing. You have to go and buy a new thing. So we're looking at that specific model or anything slightly better, same size. How much is it currently? That's the replacement cost. That's what we should look at. And also on that inventory form, we make sure that we specify our goods that are valued over 4,000 and all goods that can be taken out of the house, like your cell phones, your laptops, your speakers, your jewelry. All those things should be specified. Some of these covers people are not even considering because we think that maybe it's expensive. But just for an example, a cover for 150,000 worth of house contents can be 1,500 for the whole year. Why did we start at 150,000? Because everything else below will come in. If it's a standalone house contents cover, they'll come in at a minimum premium, a policy of 1.5. So that's house contents for you. From the doctor, what is next to you is what you use every day, your goods in the house. And then next, we are going to talk about what you carry around with you. Personal or risk. What are we talking about? Covers accidental loss of or damage to property, insured being specified items. In the schedule, anywhere in the world, you are saying you are traveling to UK, you carry your cell phone is stolen there, it is covered. If you carry a gun, it is covered. Your laptops, your PlayStations, etc. And there are some things that you might not really need to specify, like your clothing. So they will come in as unspecified items on the policy, which refers to your clothing, your handbags, your jewelry, your designer watches, and the like. Those things that you wear on yourself as you go out as a person. So they can also be covered on your personal or risk. It's covered also at replacement cost. So the amount payable in the event of total loss of any article or property insured will be the current replacement cost. But there are situations where, like jewelry, we might need you to provide a valuation certificate because the price may be changing. You might have bought it a long time. Your rings, your jewelry, they might need valuation certificates to show what is the current price as of today or current value. Then a cover is against any accidental damage. That's why it's called personal all risk. It's an all risk cover. It covers every risk, every damage and theft, but only excludes damages that come due to depreciation or wear and tear. To say, yes, my TV just refused to switch on today, but it has been there for 10 years. It might be because there is some mechanical element or whatever that is due to use. So those things will not be covered. Then over and above now we have covered the doctor himself, we have covered his contents, we have covered the things that he carries on himself. What about the house where you are staying or where the one that you have bought? So we can do the cover called house owners cover, which is loss, which will cover you for loss or damage to domestic buildings as stated at the stated address. The main covers are just like the on house contents. Fire, the house is gutted down by fire, or is struck by lightning, or is an explosion. Explosion may be a gas tank explosion, a geyser explosion that can damage the house. Storm, wind, water, hail, snow, earthquake, bursting pipes, theft or attempted theft. The same applies. There should be forcible entrance or exit, and it excludes when the house was vacant for more than 30 days. So we're saying thieves, they come in, they take those aluminum windows, they go with them. That is part of the house. So it will be covered as house owners. But if they take a fridge, it will be covered as house contents. That's the main difference. Then impact by trees, by animals, by aerial devices. On trees there, we have to take note of one thing. Where the tree is being felled, it won't be covered because we expect professional fellers to be used. Otherwise, it's a danger to the house. It's a danger to everyone else who occupies that house. So then malicious damage is also covered. For us to quote, what do we need? You can provide evaluation report. Evaluation report, we don't mean the current one. Even if you have the one that is 1 year old, 2 year old, we can just increase the value by 10 or 20% to cater for increased cost on building materials. We know that cement was just about 50 pula per bag about a year or a year and a half back. But now you are now buying it at 70 pula. So which means the rebuilding cost of that house
I think she's experiencing internet issues. We'll just give her a moment to join. I see Mr. Nelson is there. I'll just ask him kindly just to help us contact Noreen.
Will do. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, yes, I see that your internet connection it was disturbed. So I don't know. Did you get anything on this house owner's cover, or I
Yes.
should
Yes.
redo it?
No. I think
Uh,
we got it loud and clear. It was actually perfect. Maybe you can
okay.
start. Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. That's great. That's great. Thank you so much. So one thing that I was mentioning there is we can also include your parents' houses.
We can't
We
see the slides.
can't see the slides. Let me try to reshare. Just hold on. Is it fine now? Hello?
Hello. It's not
The
on
slide,
slide. Not
it's
on
not on.
slide.
Oh, okay. Stop sharing. Let me reshare. Can you see it now?
Maybe it's just me. I'm not sure, but I'm not able to see it on slideshow.
Oh,
Mm.
can it be the internet or even now?
Hey.
Nothing.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. I think we can, if you're having difficulties, it's okay. We can move on.
Maybe people can just talk to us on chat there. Let's see if you can see me or not.
Yeah.
But what I'm gonna do then is I'll share this presentation so that whoever can want to have a look, they can have a look. I'm sure it's the issue of the internet.
We can
All
see
right.
the slides, but they are not on presentation mode, Noreen. So if you
Then,
can't, you can just continue.
because to me, it seems they are, so
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, let me just continue for the sake of our time. Then over and above the house now, we all are driving each and every day. We have cars. So cars, motor insurance can be the broad categories that we mainly offer here in Botswana are comprehensive and third party. There is another one that is called third party fire and theft, but it's not really common in Botswana, which comes at about 75% of premium of the comprehensive cover. So, but let's talk about the comprehensive cover. What does it cover? And what third party compared to what third party covers? So comprehensive will cover you for damages to your own vehicle. That's the own damage cover. But third party will not cover your own vehicle. It will only cover third party damages. Comprehensive cover will cover it. Ma'am? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think maybe
Hello.
sorry. I think maybe I'm not sure if it's me, but the slide that you're currently on is slide number 5. Are you presenting slide number 5 or are you at a different slide?
I'm on a different slide altogether. I'm on a different slide. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, it's not slide number 5. Let me move on.
I think you have to stop share first and then reshare.
That's what I've done. I stopped sharing and then reshared. How is it now?
Can you press
Am I on slide 11?
Okay,
Slide 11?
Can you press the slide mode? See if it goes to slide mode for us. There you go. Perfect.
Perfect. Are you on motor insurance?
Comprehensive, motor insurance, comprehensive, and third party.
So we're now, yes, we're on it. That's great. That's great. So what I was saying, I think now we can all see comprehensive cover will cover your own damage to your own vehicle. That's own damage cover, but third party will not cover your own vehicle. Then comprehensive will cover you for third party vehicles, like damages to third party vehicles if you were wrong in the accident. Third party cover will also cover the same. That is, if you were wrong in the accident, insurance will cover your own vehicle plus the third party on comprehensive. But on third party, it will only cover the third party vehicles. Comprehensive covers you for theft of the vehicle. It will cover you for malicious damage to the vehicle. It will cover you for any other damage to third party property. It can be someone's screen wall, someone's house, any other thing. And also comprehensive will cover you for natural disasters. We're talking about your fire, your explosion, your lightning. But with third party, it will not cover your malicious damage. It will not cover any natural damages. It will only stick to third party vehicles and third party property. That is, if you were wrong in the accident. So that's the only difference that is there. So motor, we're still continuing on motor. So what is really comprehensive cover? It will cover cost of repairs to the insured vehicle as a result of an accident or other perils like fire, storm, theft, attempted theft, malicious damage, or hijack. It covers also third-party liabilities if the insured caused the accident. For us to quote, what do we want? We just want your full names, your postal and physical addresses, your occupation, your contact details and email address to send the quotations to, and your claims history in the past 3 to 5 years. This one is very important because for a rate, for insurer to come up with a proper rate for you, they have to know how you have been performing or how you have been claiming in the past 3 to 5 years. Then on the vehicle itself, we need to know the year of manufacture. We need to know its make and model, its registration number, and its value for some insured. Its value, if it's an old vehicle, it can be out of evaluation. If it's a new vehicle, it can be from the invoice. Then what do we require for us to effect cover? You have to complete a proposal form and a KYC form. Provide a copy of your driver's license, the registration book, evaluation report for second-hand vehicles, and an invoice for new vehicles. Where possible, some insurers are now requesting for videos. Why? Because we've seen some people, things are happening in the industry there. Some people can actually show cars that are already damaged. So most insurers, they say, send us a current video of the vehicle so that we see any damages on the vehicle. Then we also need the KYC supporting documents, your certified ID or passport, and the confirmation of employment with addresses. So what is it that is not covered if you have a comprehensive cover? If you didn't pay the premium and there's a claim, that will not be covered. If you didn't renew the policy and there's a claim, that will not be covered. Driving the car under the influence of alcohol or drugs or any other intoxicating substances, the claim will not be covered. If the vehicle was being driven by someone without a valid driving license, the claim will not be covered as well. Damage to engine, we are saying mechanical or electronic faults of any sort, they are not covered. We've heard some doctors saying, oh, my car refused to start in the morning. That is a mechanical or electrical problem. It cannot be covered by insurance, but rather it can be helped by emergency assist. They can come in and help with the issue of the battery and help them. Consequential loss of any form, to say because my car was involved in an accident and it took a month for it to be fixed, so I lost income or I was using taxis, that will not be covered under insurance, under motor insurance. Then failure to protect the vehicle. The car is just said to have been stolen at the bus stop. You were not there, you left the keys in. That is failure to protect, some negligence of some sort or some recklessness of some sort. Then wear and tear, this is like very common, depreciation. Then deliberate accidental loss, that is loss arising out of an accident or event that was deliberate. We know that some people say, I no longer want this car, let me just go and hit a tree and then I claim from insurance. But if it can be investigated and realize that it was actually a deliberate move, then it will not be covered. Some other things are failure to maintain the vehicle, to keep the vehicle in a roadworthy condition. They are also a reason why the police might not respond. Then what is the claim process on motor? That has been some area of concern as well. The moment you are involved in an accident, you should call your broker within 72 hours, let them know. Then the broker will send you the necessary requirements, that is person will send you the necessary requirements and will require the police report, the blue book or license, you might already be having it, and the quotations. Then an assessor will be appointed after all the necessary documents have been received. And this assessor will compile a report that can take 3-4 days, and then repairs can be authorized. Then insurer pays the panel beater direct, unless if the car is written off. Then client will pay an excess. That's another animal. What is an excess? This is the contribution of the insured on each and every claim. Excess is there, it's a standard norm internationally in insurance, and it is there to curb moral hazard, where people can become irresponsible just knowing that I have insurance, so I can do whatever I want, insurance will pay. So if you are to contribute something and to part with something on each and every claim, it will also encourage you to be careful or to be more responsible. But there is also another option that where you can insure the excess. It's called an excess buyback option. You pay about an extra 12% of the annual premium with a minimum of 500 fuller. Then it will cover you the basic excess. But excess buyback will not cover other excesses like the license excess, where the license is less than 3 years old, the age excess where the driver was less than 27 years old, the own damage excess where the vehicle was the only vehicle involved in the accident, showing some form of negligence. You know, if you were trying to avoid another car or what happened is better. But where it's just one car, it just hit a robot, or I just fell into a trench, somehow, somewhere it shows that there was some negligence involved. Then it also windscreen excess will still be covered. It will still be paid even if you have excess buyback. Any questions? I think we'll attend to them later. So then the last part on personal insurance is on general liability or general personal liability. We are saying as an individual, you own a car, you own a house, you own a property, someone can be injured through that property. So this cover will cover damages which the insured become legally liable to pay as compensation for accidental injury or damage to third-party property. Like I mentioned earlier, a tenant may be having dogs. Somehow, the door of the gate opens and the dogs go out and they bite someone. That is a liability on you. Whether you are a tenant or you are owner of the house, it's a liability on you. So that can come in as general liability cover. And this cover can be extended to cash or credit cards. This is now common to say which will cover your liability or loss arising from fraudulent use of the insured cash or credit cards by any person who is not a member of the insured family or household. Thieves can get in, they hold you ransom, they take you to the bank, cash in for us, or they take your cards, give us your PIN, they go and cash in. That's where this cover, this extension can come in. A tenant's liability, you are renting a house, but somewhere, somehow, the fixtures and fittings of that house are damaged. And the landlord says, fix my house. This is not how you found it like. So tenant's liability cover can help you to cover any legal liability arising from accidental damage to the building or landlord's fixtures and fittings by the tenant or their family members. Then liability to domestic employees, that's workers' compensation on a personal level. It will cover legal liability as a result of bodily injury to the insured domestic employees arising out of the work that they are employed to do. I always give the example of dogs because it's very common. To say your maid goes out to feed the dogs, but somehow we don't know what happened to the dogs that they bite the maid. It's a legal liability to you. It comes in as a workers' compensation cover. So that is part of general liability, and it concludes our personal liability insurance. Now we move on. Oh, not really. Yes, to some extent, a medical malpractice cover. This is more like now a professional cover as you render your services. We are saying it covers against the insured's legal liability to pay damages, including legal defense costs arising out of errors, omissions, or mistakes in the professional services of the insured. As you are rendering your service, be it in the government, be it where you are locoming, or be it in your private practice, there can be errors that can be done, or omissions. You forgot to ask any allergies. Then you prescribe a drug that will cause problems to the patient. It arose out of an omission, failure to ask, just providing the wrong dosage or the wrong drug, then causes problems on the client, on the patient. We have an affordable scheme that we have mainly for dentists, for GPs, that is there, that we can provide cover anytime. Why do we encourage this, even if you might be in the government facility where the government can stand in for you? We're saying it is for your peace of mind. People are getting more knowledgeable of their rights, and they're exposed to more information, especially on Google. So people really, they are using their rights nowadays. And you want peace of mind to say, if the government doesn't stand in or is not supportive enough, your own cover can help you. Then, but this cover is mostly important to those who local and to those who have private practices. But still, as I mentioned earlier, those that are in government, you are free to get this cover as well for your own peace of mind. So now we're done with the personal insurance. We want to consider workers' compensation and public liability as mentioned in the invitation. What is workers' compensation? Like we saw, it can even affect you at home. The same, it can affect you at your clinic or at your private practice or at your private business. To start with, this is a mandatory cover by Botswana law, by Botswana labor laws, as per chapter 47.03 of the Workers' Compensation Act. The Act provides for compensation of workers for injuries suffered or occupational diseases contracted in the course of their employment or for death resulting from such injuries or diseases. So generally, it covers liability against accidental death or injury or illness of employees in the course and scope of their employment. As your employees doing their work, they can be involved in any form of accident. A chair that they are sitting in can cave in and causing a back injury, or a step or a wet floor, they can just be injured at any time. Or it can be a road accident, they are going for banking, they are going for any other errands that you have sent them, then they are involved in a road accident out there. Workers' compensation will cover you. So what are the benefits that come with workers' compensation? As a statutory cover, these are umbrella benefits. It's like they are all the same. On death, the cover will cover the employee for 4 times the annual earnings with a maximum of 200,000. So we're saying the employee has been injured, but he dies out of those injuries. So 4 times his annual salary should be paid, which means it's a 4-year salary that should be paid, but with a maximum of 200,000. But as a statutory cover, it has its shortfalls as well, that it will, like on death day, it's mainly good for those that are earning less than 4,000. If you are earning more than 4,000, that cover is too little. So we encourage other covers to be taken, like group personal accident, to cover those gaps. Then on permanent disability, we are saying you lost a leg, you lost an arm, you lost an eye. There are some stipulated rates that are there. But it will be a certain percentage of 5 years salary or 5 times your annual earnings with a maximum of 250,000. That's the capping there. On temporary total disability, you are not able to go to work, but you still have to survive. It has to pay 66.67% of your weekly earnings up to 2 years or 104 weeks. So the employee has been involved in a road accident while going for a work errand, and they can't be at work for 3 months. Yes, you can still be paying them, but insurance, after the claim has been processed, they will still have to pay that 2/3 of his weekly earnings up to the 12 weeks that he was not working. Then medical expenses up to 75,000. So what we mean is those that are on medical aid, that 10% up to 75,000 can be covered. Those that are not on medical aid should keep all the receipts. When now the claim has been processed, they can put in those receipts, and then the medical expenses can be covered as well. Then what do we want to quote? This is a mandatory cover. We encourage each and every clinic, each and every business to have it. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble with labor one day. So we need your company name, what the business does. Is it a clinic? Is it a medical facility? What is it? Postal addresses, physical address, any claims history. Then the number of workers, that's the most important. We don't want to know who and who you have employed, because you are allowed to hire and fire as you want. But we just want to know, on average, how many workers do you have? Then what is your total salary bill per month for those workers? That's all we need for us to quote. Then we quote, but just for an example, All those annual wage bills that are less than 200,000, we have a cover for a minimum premium for 1,500 per year, which includes a free public liability cover for 500,000. So it's also a cover that you should all consider. 1.5, parting with 1.5 is better than being in trouble with labor office and being in trouble if anything happens to your employees. Then public liability. Okay, the requirements to effect cover. We need a completed KYC form, a completed proposal form, a certified ID of the person who is authorized to act on behalf of the company. It can be the doctor himself, it can be his manager, anyone. Then a resolution that states that the directors agreed to take cover and state the person that is authorized to act on behalf of the company. Other documents like the SIPA documents, certificate of incorporation and extracts, we can download that from SIPA with your permission. Other companies can say provide a confirmation of bank details, but it's not really one or two in the market. So after we've given you the cover, we will issue a certificate of insurance, which should be displayed on the wall at your business premises. It is stated like that, even in the act, that certificate of insurance should be stated at your reception, should be hanged at your reception there, where everyone can see that you have workers' compensation certificate or cover. Then lastly, we are going to consider public liability. We talked about general liability on personal level, but as a company also, we can be found liable. So it will cover legal liability that the insured shall be held liable for upon accidental death or bodily injury or illness of any person or accidental physical damage of tangible property by any means that is in connection with the insured business. What are we saying here? A patient comes to your clinic because of a wet flow, they fall down and they break their leg. They can claim from the facility. Or because of an unmarked step, they fall and they're allowed to claim from the facility. So other things that we're mentioning there is an advertising board that can accidentally fall on a customer vehicle or on a customer himself. Or on other business, a builder accidentally drop a heavy building material onto a nearby car. Those are forms of public liability. The types of public liability, there's the general one, that is what is like up there on the examples, that's all general liability. Then there's tenants liability. This is just like the landlord now, when you want to move, he says, no, fix my things. You damaged my building or you damaged my fixtures and fittings, though that is part of what tenants liability. Property owners, those people that own buildings, you might not be renting, we might not be staying in them or renting or using them yourself, but there can still be liability that comes from ownership of that property. A storm can come and take the roof of that building, and it lands it on someone's car. That property owner's liability. Workaway liability is not common with doctors, but maybe you might be doing some business where you go to sites and there are damages there. Then in terms of extensions, we have wrongful arrest or false arrest. Someone comes to your office, but then a cell phone disappears and you blame that person, of which is not the one, only to find out later they're allowed to sue you. Then defamation, if you publicize any information with an intention to injure someone's reputation. Yes, this is not common in Africa, but it's a free cover on each and every public liability cover, including legal defense costs. Whenever there's such a claim, the insurance company can appoint a lawyer for you and pay the legal costs. Then I have seen that some clinics, they can be selling drinks and other things there, which means they might need an extension of product liability, which is compensation to anyone affected by a faulty product, including food and drink poisoning. So what are we saying here? I might go to your clinic, I buy a drink, but I get sick out of that drink. But because the contract is between me, I bought it at your place. I have to claim from your place, whether when you also claim from where you bought it or whatever, but still that damage will be, or that compensation will still be between me and your clinic, because that's where the contract of sale was made. So basically that's that. That is the end. We have indicated our contacts there. Our landline 391366, my cell phone numbers. You can get hold of me, Dawana, that have WhatsApp is in the office anytime when you need a quotation or you need information. Information is for free. We provide it for free. Then we see how it goes. That was all for me. I think we can make it open to everyone else.
No, thank you so much for that enlightening presentation. I would like to open the floor, as you said, to people to ask whatever questions they had, maybe even those who had missed out on the presentation initially. This is your opportunity to ask any questions you have. And then Noreen, please do share. I think either Tawana or Mr. Nelson have my contact details. You can even share via WhatsApp. Please do share the presentation. I think it's a presentation which will benefit quite a lot of people. So it would be nice to have those slides.
Not a problem. We'll do so.
Okay, I don't know where the questions are. Maybe the presentation was very clear to the point whereby no one has any questions, but I think you touched on a lot of important points. For example, you mentioned the malpractice cover, and you mentioned how it's important for everyone, including those who are currently in government. We do tend to quite a lot of our doctors in government actually low coming in private, and according to the government, that's an illegal practice, which is okay. So now what I've seen over the past couple of years is that we do have some cases whereby, patients come back complaining about the treatment they received, and the doctor who was attending to them was actually a doctor who is low coming there but is fully employed under government. So this is some things that doctors are not really aware of, and only start to take very seriously when they get into trouble, and now they're being summoned, and they're being investigated or being taken to task. So it's quite important to actually mention to them that this risks actually exist, even as a doctor who's low coming, and for you to be able to protect yourself, you should be able to take out this cover. I think the only thing that I wasn't able to appreciate, especially with the malpractice cover, is how much the premiums are, either monthly or yearly, for GPs and for dentists. I don't know if there's a standard cover, or do you look at the person's age, where they work, how many patients they see? So maybe you can just touch on that to say that, is there a standard cover that GPs and dentists pay monthly or yearly for that malpractice cover, or how is it?
Okay, thank you. Like I mentioned, we have scheme rates currently for GPs and dentists. For dentists, 1 million cover is currently 3,519 pula, and is annual cover. It's per year. There's no monthly option there. Then a 1 million cover for a GP is 3,385. For those that don't do procedures that are mainly into consulting and prescription examination and the like. Then we have 5,392 for those that are doing procedures who go to the extent of doing minor procedures like circumcision and the like. We also have other rates for, but it's other rates, the other professions like physiotherapists and whatnot. We have rates, but it's on case-by-case scenario. Currently, we also have an agreement with Alpha Direct, who have given us better rates as well. So it all depends on the profession that they are in. We can provide the rates anytime.
Just can you please just repeat the rate for the dentists?
For the dentist, it's 3,519 pula. 3,519 pula for dentists and 3,385 pula for GPs. So we will now discuss with the said doctor on how they do, like, are they into procedures, and like how many percent is, it can be said, out of their activities per day or per month we can allocate to procedures. Then we can see whether we put them as non-procedures or as procedures. But we have realized that most of them, they fall under non-procedures. So that's dentist, 3,519 pula, GPs, 3,385 pula.
And then this is that 3,300 and those figures. That's specific. That's a once-off figure that you pay for the year, right?
Yes, for the year, for 1 million cap.
Covered for 1 million. No, that's I think that, I don't know, maybe those in private. I don't know if we have anyone in private who's a GP or a dentist who can just comment to say what they think of those rates. Those of rates, because this is also an opportunity for us to negotiate, to say that no, as a BDU member, those rates are actually higher than what I'm paying as an individual, paying from a different facility. So can you please look into that? So I don't know if we have any private doctors here who can just make comments on that. Okay, no, I guess there isn't. And I think you touched on quite a lot of things. I don't know why there are no questions. Some yeah. Is the damage to appliances resulting from load shedding or power outages covered by the comprehensive home insurance? Because sometimes the outages occur when one is at work and cannot switch off the appliances at the wall. I don't know if you can touch on this one.
Yes, that one, it will be a passage cover. What we mean is like there's increase and decrease of supply. So that's where passage come in. So that one can be covered. And really, we have seen, myself, I had one experience where it was the issue of BPC electricity going on and off. But getting to BPC themselves to request for help, it can take time, and sometimes you might not even find help. So it's best for you to have your own insurance for your gadgets. Household contents, they cover that.
Okay, no, sounds good. I think it's answered. But anyway, let me not take people's time. I think I'll just ask one question that I'm very curious about. So that public liability cover, I remember there was an incident where one of our doctors was at an establishment, and somebody's car got hit one of the, like, there was a pile of waste material, right, within the premises, right? So as the doctor was reversing, he was not able to see that pile. So he ended up, scratching his car on that pile. So the question was who was at fault and whether the facility would be liable to pay or would be in a position to pay. So I think from the perspective of maybe an owner of a business or an establishment, if such was to occur, would public liability cover, or it doesn't cover such an instance?
It's a tricky situation, really. We are saying the driver didn't really see, or it's a form now of what we call contributory negligence. The driver also might have contributed by not being so watchful enough. What if it was a child who was at the back there? And also the owner, in terms of that power for there should be some of indication to say, beware of something that can be dangerous at the back there. But what it could have been straightforward if the rubbish fell on his car, or his rubbish, somehow something happened that it's the rubbish itself that caused the accident. But here, it's a matter of debate. It can be really tricky. It's not a straightforward thing, because even the driver was supposed to be more careful. Even the owner of the premise was supposed to at least indicate that there's beware of this thing, or danger, or something like that. There are situations where it's very clear, like where a tree, where there's premises covering even the car park, a tree outside there falls on the customer vehicle where it parked under it. That one is just straightforward. Or the shed itself for the cars. It is so straightforward. But with insurance, we meet so many different cases every day, and some are not really straightforward, public liability. But with cars, it's best to have your own comprehensive cover that will cover you in case anywhere where you go, they don't have adequate cover.
No, thank you so much. I think so that we don't take other people's time, we'll share this recording. This session is being recorded, so we'll share with FirstSun the recording. We'll also share with the recording, and then we'll just ask Noreen to just share with me, if possible today, the slides, so that people can appreciate the slides themselves. But otherwise, let me just thank you so much, Noreen. Otherwise, let me just take this opportunity to specifically thank Noreen for such a brilliant and enlightening presentation. I think we all learned a lot, as well as just to thank FirstSun Alliance for the continued support and partnership it provides to the Botswana Doctors Union. I'd also like to thank those who were in attendance today, and just to continue encouraging them to attend this very insightful presentations, as well as to advocate for more doctors to be a part of this union so that they can benefit. But other than that, is just to thank everyone, as well as to thank Mr. Nelson for making attendance. Thank you so much, sir, for being present today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Without any further ado, I'd say good day from all of us, and bye-bye. God bless.
Thank you, everyone.